There's nothing to hear.
Hi guys. We're just sorting out a few issues. Give us a minute. Action.
Good evening. Good evening, guys. Hope everyone is well. Hope you've had a lovely day. Yes, I'm here with my gifts to you, giving voice to the voiceless, live on YouTube. And I'm here with our host, the host of My Naked Truth.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, what a mouthful.
No, it's nerves. It's the camera, Curlyn. It's the camera. Hi guys. Welcome to the Curlyn Daley show. Right here on YouTube Live.
And we're also joined with my guest this month, Yvonne Lee. Say hi, Yvonne.
Hello. Nice to meet you ladies again.
Yeah.
Good to see you again.
So please put a comment, or if you want to phone either myself or Yannick on our WhatsApp, you're welcome to do that. So this evening, just like to put out first, this is a safe and compassionate space created for women and men whose lives have been impacted by domestic violence, whether personally, through a loved one, or through advocacy. Here, we honour every voice. No one is pressured to share more than they are comfortable sharing, and anonymity is always respected. If today's conversations brings up difficult emotions for you, please remember that you are not alone and support is available. If you are in immediate danger, please contact your local emergency services. Today, we continue our mission of breaking the silence, sharing hope, and reminding every listener that healing is possible. Thank you for joining, and thank you for being part of our community that brings every story matters. Just to share our positive affirmation. I am not what happened to me, I am what I chose to become. My scars are proof of my strength and my will to keep going. I rise every day and encourage power. I rise every day with courage, power, and resilience. I am worthy of love, peace, and a future full of hope. I survived because the fire inside me burned brighter than the storm. Each step I take is a victory over my past. I am healing, I am growing, and I am thriving. I have turned my pain into purpose and my wounds into wisdom. I am a warrior with a heart full of light. I am living proof that it is possible to overcome and still shine. And still I rise.
Amen.
Powerful, isn't it?
Powerful.
Powerful.
Very powerful.
So, guys, as I said, we are joined this evening with our special guest, Yvonne Lee. So, we are going to unwrap with Yvonne, and I just want to share a bit about who Yvonne is. Yvonne is a gospel singer, songwriter, and AMP recording artist who is passionate about her music ministry. Yvonne sings at church events, conferences, weddings, and special occasions, and records in the studio. Yvonne is also a personal trainer, fitness instructor, which I know because I attend her classes. As in one of them yesterday, we had gospel aerobics. But yeah, she's a mother and grandmother. She is a certified Christian life coach and a survivor of years of narcissistic abuse. We'll be discussing with Yvonne. Her theme is when God wrecks your plans before they wreck you. Yvonne hopes to enlighten and encourage women, especially those in the church, who feel trapped in the same cycle so they can be set free and find themselves again, so they can fulfill their God-given purpose. So welcome, Yvonne.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. I'm glad that you were able to come this evening. I know we've had a lot of ups and downs in regards to having you on the show, but tonight is the night. So I'm going to hand over to you, Yvonne, for you to share your story. Any questions, you can put your questions in the chat, and as we're going along, we'll be asking Yvonne different questions and so forth, or we may leave it at the end.
Yeah.
Okay, so over to you, Yvonne.
Thank you. Right, thank you ever so much for having me.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I just actually wanted to start off with a poem that I wrote, which kind of describes a little bit of what I went through. And I know so many women have gone through this, and this is why it is my passion to help people to be more aware. You know, you're one of the forerunners, Curlyn, and Yannick, you've been through a lot. But I just wanted to share this poem first. It's called The Winding Road of Healing. It starts off, the winding road of healing is not straight, it's set apart to take you through the process, mending wounds within your heart. It brings along your memories, some happy and some sad, and some we wish not to return because they were so bad. Emotions sore or battered, bruised, you reach out for your bandage. But the one who caused your cuts to bleed can't heal. They took advantage of your kindness showed and gifts bestowed. They thought, I'm set for life. They worship me like I'm a god. I'll keep on causing strife. Until the one above, who sees all things, said, no more, that's enough. You thought my child was oh so weak. They're made of stronger stuff. You thought that you were using them, but I was using you to show them patterns soon to break and clarify their view of who they are, a child of God, yes, vulnerable, kind, with feelings, to journey on where I'm at the end of the winding road of healing.
Brilliant.
Wow,
Brilliant.
That's just a poem
Yeah.
I wrote. So a little bit about my story. The last portion, we've only got like a limited amount of time, so I'm just gonna kind of
share
the,
what you feel
kind of the last portion.
Yeah.
I was married for almost 10 years. I'd come into the church. I've been in the church 22 years this year, and I met a man who was recently baptised, and I thought, this is my person. You know, I thought, you know, that's it. We're going to see off our sunny days and go and meet Jesus together when, you know, he comes back again and everything. But as time went on, I realised that in your spirit, as we call it, you know that something's not right. It's off. But because I took my marriage vows very seriously, it was my second marriage, and I did not want it to fail.
Yeah.
So you hang in there. But things kind of went on a downward turn. I'd say probably the last 2 or 3 years. And I didn't actually realise it was abuse until I went to a ladies' retreat, in July 2023. And my friend is a social worker. She may be watching, and I do thank her every day.
Yeah.
I had 2 messages sent to me from my ex-husband, and she says, Yvonne, you do realise this is abuse? And I was like, is it? Really? I had no idea. And she said yes. So, you know, as time went on, God was kind of showing me, yeah, this isn't right. And the reason why I didn't realise, because most people say, as I think we mentioned before, they say, "Oh, why don't you just leave?"
Yeah.
And people don't understand. There's two things. One, a trauma bond is very strong. It's literally like a drug effect. You try and get away. You try and rationalize and make some sense out of what's going on. But because you're trauma bonded to that person, it's like if that person leaves, it's like a drug. And I remember one time I'd asked them to leave, and literally I was breaking out in cold sweats. I just thought, you need to come back, even though the person, that's why I said the poem, the person that caused your cuts to bleed cannot heal you. So you, at some point, you have to let go. But God was in the mix of everything. And I realised the patterns that I'd formed over the years, because this was kind of like my third narcissistic relationship. And the word does get bandied about, but I had a pattern. And God, with this last relationship, broke that pattern. And I could see that my issues came right back to childhood. And I will say to people that you have to do your healing. You have to heal. I had a lot of therapy. I did an inner child wound course with a lady called Joanna Daniel, who runs a ministry called Wounds to Scars. So she does courses, sort of in person or online. You can find her on YouTube as well. So it's good that we've got women and ladies doing this ministry. So I did this 12-week course, and God was he was peeling back the layers of why I kept choosing or kept attracting these type of people.
Can I just stop you there? Because like you said, there's a pattern, and 3 times you'd gone for the same type of person. So like you said, how did you break that pattern then? Or how did you realise also that this was a pattern with the 3? Because obviously they must probably come
different times. I had to study it. Narcissism, the world calls it a personality disorder. Some of the traits of that might be true, but a lot of it is it's demonic spirits which are in the person doing what they're doing. So I had to do a lot of research about it. I've recently qualified as a narcissistic life coach. So because I wanted to see deeper, and then the mannerisms and the behaviours that qualify them to be on that spectrum. A narcissist is not going to tell you, "Oh, by the way, I'm a narcissist." Nice to meet you. They're not going to tell you, but there are identification things that show you who they are. So I had to learn about what things they do, different types of narcissist. And that's when God was opening my eyes to say, okay, you've seen this before, Yvonne. That happened before. This is how they behave. So that I could break it and realise where it came from, which was really from my own household. One of the things that they do is daily rages. So arguments, they literally will be like in your face, arguing the toss, but it's on a daily basis, and that wears you down. And growing up, and I know that a lot of I'm from a typical Jamaican household, and a lot of that does go on. And I realised that's where it came from. It came from my home with a particular parent, since gone now. And I don't blame them, because that's all they knew. But that made me out like a people pleaser. And I had to manage their emotions and, appease, that rage, which was, I say, it was on a daily basis. So I thought that my last marriage, that was normal. Oh, people argue all the time, and as I say, I didn't want it to fire so hung in there. But God, he just showed me, right, this is what it is. I still wanted to make things work. But I'm kind of skipping forward kind of a few things. But I had my suspicions that this person was not being faithful. but I couldn't prove it. And I think, especially when you are in the church, when you're a Christian, we know kind of from the Bible that infidelity is, where if you find that the person has been unfaithful, you can get divorced. But I had no proof. I asked the person outright. They denied it. A lot of things went on, but it was God that literally opened the floodgates, as it were, for me to find out, yes, that person's having an affair with not just one person, more than one person. And that's when I was like, it took me about a week before I said, I'm done. I've had enough. I'm not doing this anymore. And I filed for divorce in the September. And that was finalised in 2024.
And how long did that marriage last?
Nearly 10 years.
10 years.
Nearly 10 years. But some of the things that how your body kind of how your body reacts to it, because it can be very subtle, because you might get like shouted at, or they'll gaslight you. So I'm trying to get a decent thing of gaslighting. It's a little bit personal. It's a video okay, showing something a bit personal.
Yes, up to you.
So
you want to share.
I shared it on my TikTok, because I've got a TikTok page and everything.
Yeah.
But we went away, went abroad, won't say the occasion, but went abroad. I used the shower. I was on my period, and I was like, I need, when you need dark towels.
You
need dark towels. There was no dark towels. I was like, okay. So I had a shower, used my towel, but I rolled it up and I put it, when you leave the towels on the floor for them to collect, and I thought, I'm going to let them know, certainly there's not a shock. I came out, my ex went in, had a shower, came out and started like shouting at me, why did you leave the towel on the towel rail when it was used? I said, I didn't. And he said, yes, you did. Like, you left it hanging up on the towel. I said, no, I did not. I'm very particular about things like that. Us as women, we are very particular. But it literally went into a full-blown, massive argument. And in the end, I just said, well, if that's what you think, then fine. Because he would not back down. And that happened on more than one occasion. So that's it. They tried to make you feel crazy.
So you start questioning yourself.
Did I put the towel on the floor? But,
when
so
you know that you did.
And it's only like after the relationship ends that things start to drop into place. Oh, that happened, and you realise what it is. And as you investigate more into it, you realize, okay, that's the pattern of what they do. So
that's an example of gaslighting.
Yeah, that's an example of gaslighting. So, but kind of going to the start of it, love bombing, most people have heard of love bombing. So they show you the affection, they tell you that I've never met anybody like you before, you're my soulmate, and it's literally within days, if not weeks. And I'll say to women, don't, especially we just connected. We've been seeing each other for a week. It's not real. It's them that they have to get a hook into you somewhere first, so that they can then start to manipulate and feed off you, because they know. Why I say people to get their healing, they know your vulnerabilities. They know. In some ways, I say, even though we all have narcissistic traits, narcissists require a huge amount of validation. So they can't just get it from one person. It has to be multiple people. And also, people pleasers need validation as well, because we never had it in childhood. A lot of us from our type of households, not everybody, but we were fed, we were clothed, we had shelter, But emotionally,
That's right.
there wasn't anything. Emotionally, we were bereft
Yes.
because, you know, my mum used to work a lot and my dad was working as well. So you like the latchkey kid. I was a latchkey kid, you know, came in, you know, made the dinner and whatnot. But the emotional support just wasn't there. You know, it was just like, do as you're told, speak when you're spoken to. So you don't have any autonomy as a person, as a child growing up, and everybody needs that. I've tried to ensure that my children have had that, even though, yes, they've had a rough time as well, that they've got their own autonomy and they're able to explore their own feelings, and that's where the breakdown happens in your childhood, and then you just go on with these patterns. My first relationship that I had at 19 was extremely violent. I stayed with him for about probably just under 2 years, because literally I was battered, I was strangled. It was really bad. It was really bad, and it was only really my dad that said, you're never going back with him, otherwise you can't come back home. And I was like, okay, Dad, you know, but it still didn't break the pattern because I hadn't healed. So yeah, it was. Yeah,
Wow.
it's a journey. It's a journey.
It is a journey.
I don't think you know, healing is a journey. I don't think it's something where you can say, oh right, I've done it. I'm good.
Yeah.
You know, it's all a journey. It's like our Christian journey. It's a journey through life, but you're learning lessons as you go along.
That's right.
And I can honestly say now, at the time, because when I found everything out with my second marriage, it was 2023, and it was devastating. I couldn't even like speak some days. You know, it was just tears, because you realise that the whole of the marriage was a sham.
Yeah.
Because they target you. They target you, whether it's for a roof over their head, whether it's money, whether it's sex. That's what they do. They're not there because they love you. There's nothing of the sort. You are just
an ulterior
Yeah.
motive.
yeah. They are there just to use you, and then when they're finished, they go through a cycle. So that idealise you to start off with, and then they start to devalue you. So they'll little digs, little picks, like one of the things that he says, oh, you behave like a man. And I'm like, you know, I remember hearing him saying it about his ex. This is like later on. So they, you know, that's it shows through, and then the discard happens, and the discard is when they think that you're going to stay and endure any kind of rubbish. And then they're like, there's no affection, there's no closeness, there's no empathy. So they've literally cut you off, but you're still with them. And it's the
there's
most
no friendship, nothing.
There's nothing. You know, they look at you as if you're something on the bottom of the shoe. And they're, you know, they're still trying to, but once God had, I was like, once God had like shown me what was going on, I was like, nah, I'm done. You know, I know it's taken me a long time to know my value and know my worth.
That's right.
And, you know, women, I know men go through it as well, but women, we are women of value.
That's right.
You know, I think you have to value yourself. You have to build yourself up with the help of God. One of the biggest things that helped me was believing in the promises of God about myself. Because when you've come from so little self-worth and self-value, my self-esteem was like so low. And then he rebuilds you so that you can, you know, okay, I am fearfully and wonderfully made. I am loved with an everlasting love. You have to, like, I look myself in the mirror on a daily basis and I say that to myself, what God says about me.
That's it, to build you up.
Definitely.
You have to keep
and
saying
that's
it
good
to yourself,
as a Christian, you know. At least we've got those tools. We've got the Bible, we've got God to help us build us up, but there are women out there who don't know Christ, and for them the healing has got to be talking to a friend, counselling and so forth, you know what I mean? So
Absolutely.
That's the other end of the spectrum in terms of us, we've got faith.
Yeah.
But what about the ones who haven't got faith? You
Yeah.
know, so yeah.
And that's where we do encourage people to do the research themselves. Like you say, counselling is so important.
It is.
It's so important. I think sometimes as Christians think, we've got the Bible, we don't need therapy. But I think about it, God's put us He's got a role for each and every one of us on this earth.
Definitely.
And we can use it to help people, and therapists and counsellors are there to help people.
Because what we don't understand is, no matter what we go through, yes, the person did us something wrong, but I think the big question is, why did I stay? Why did I endure it? Because it had to be something about you as well.
Yeah.
Why you entertained it for so long. And then so that's where the healing has to come from. Because it's not saying you're not going to meet people like that. But I think once you get that therapy and that on that journey of healing, then you start to see the signs and it becomes more aware. You can recognize it. And then because you're in a place now where you know your worth, you know your value, then you can actually stop it. As I would say, nip it in the bud, hit the nail on the head, and just finish it off like that. So that's why the therapy is so important,
definitely.
To have that space to talk, because a lot of it is coming from your childhood, and what you've gone through as a child. And remember, we grew up in households where we only recognize abuse as physical.
Yeah.
So when it comes to the emotional abuse or verbal, so when it comes to emotional abuse, we don't understand it. We're not realizing that it's feelings and emotions that we've locked away, or the patterns of our family and our household and how it's dealt with. That's what we're dealing with now as adults, and it's about breaking that as well. So
absolutely, it is. It's being accountable. It's moving from, yes, we're victims, but we have to take accountability for our own healing.
Responsibility to change the narrative.
And I do thank God, because I learned personally a lot more emotional maturity, which I was still this little girl that if he would argue, I would bite back. You know, so because that's what I was used to doing. It was almost like I was arguing with my parent, my mum at the time. So I thank God that he showed me emotional maturity. So different things happen and I don't react the same way anymore. I'm not the same person, which I'm so grateful to God for, because we have to grow, we have to heal, but it's on us. Nobody else can do it for us. If we want to change, we have to put it out there. We have to do that for ourselves. And I know sometimes it can be expensive, but think of the things that you spend your money on. I didn't admonish anybody to get
invest
therapy and invest, especially if they don't have, like you said, if they don't have Christ. It's an absolute must, to get that, to help you through. I just wanted to, so maybe like some people. I was going to touch on, if you, my thing is, well, two things. So my first thing is I'm actually doing a degree in counselling and psychology with mental health to help people. God just opened a door, so I'm walking through that door so that I can help people in the future with it. What was the other thing I was going to say? So there's the counselling. So some of that's it. If people, I'm like trying to help women, especially in the church, anywhere really, because the longer you endure this type of abuse and domestic violence, it makes you sick, physically sick,
definitely.
Mentally, but physically. So you get a lot of autoimmune diseases, fibromyalgia, different things like that. I have I started off with about 6 fibroids, and they were manageable. But over the years, I noticed that when I was having my cycle, it's petered off now.
Yeah.
You know, I know we know say thanks or thanks not for perimenopause, but
Yeah.
perimenopause has its benefits.
Yeah.
But one of the things, my cycles were extremely heavy, and one time it was like 10, 12 days it was going on.
Wow.
And I had to have an MRI. I was like, this isn't right. So I had an MRI, and I now have multiple fibroids, and the consultant says I have too many to count. And that's because of the stress of sitting in that marriage and enduring the abuse. So, you know, it's manageable now. When I ended that relationship, when I sort of like, right, you're not coming back to the house, I started going through the perimenopause properly.
Okay.
So like I used to have swollen ankles. My cycles were terrible. It all started to right itself.
Okay.
Because you get out of that.
That's
environment.
It's very stressful.
It's toxic.
That's it.
It's toxic. You know, a lot of women can, you know, end up things like cancers and that. So it's really imperative that, you know, I do pray for women to get the courage or reach out to you. You know, I have a coaching, speak to someone that they can trust, you know, even if, because some people might think, well, am I going through it? You know, am I not? So help with the signs of it. So love. Go on, sir.
Sorry, I think, like you said, sometimes women don't realise that they're in an abusive relationship until you start talking. You know, they know something's going on, and but at the same time, you're thinking, that can't really happen to me, because you hear of that happening to whoever down the road, but not necessarily thinking it's happened to yourself. And then when you start sharing, after the guilt and the shame and everything else, and you realise that, yes, you are going through that abuse, it's getting that help and getting that understanding, and you know what I mean, the support.
Yes.
So yeah,
that's true.
Definitely. I just wanted to go through some of that. On my I have a TikTok account called the Wisdom Chair Coach.
Yeah, the link is in the
thank you. And I'm just gonna call it up so I can take you through some of the toxic traits, because if you don't know, you don't know.
Yeah, that's right.
And I didn't know, but I've had to learn. So just wait
can
for
I
it to
ask the different traits in all the three? Were they the same or different or similar? In each person?
Some things were similar. So rages are throughout, because they don't have narcissists or people with this kind of spirit. They don't have any emotional maturity. They are literally like a little child stuck in an adult body. They have suffered some kind of abuse, but it's literally they've flipped it and then they take it out on other people. So there's a lot of projection, and by projection I mean what they accuse you of is what they're doing. Like I was accused of having affairs, but I never had one. But they were having it. You know, they say, oh, you know, you're rubbish at such and such, but they're just projecting. Because they don't love themselves. And one thing is that they actually hate themselves. So one of the things, is early flattery. Like I said, they'll love bomb you. They'll say, you know, you're the best thing since sliced bread. They'll praise you, especially like if you're in the church. They'll praise you on, you know, like you know a lot about the Bible, and because they're trying to stroke your ego. The ego that you're comfortable. The ego that probably, and the validation that you never had as a child. They will touch on that, and then you'll be like, oh. You know, it touches a part of you. I feel heard. You know, so yeah, that's one of the things. Physical boundaries. So they will be kind of charming. Then they will little touch. whether it's, and this is a pattern I've noticed as well.
Mm.
So they'll have a little touch. So, oh, thank you so much, because they're trying to test your boundaries.
Yeah.
They're looking to see a way in a weakness.
Yes.
Yeah. So I noticed that. So now, if I clock, because I ask for spiritual discernment all the time, every day I pray for spiritual discernment. I say, God, show me who they are so I can see. And when I see it, I'm like, right, I've got you. Okay. And I
They'll
remove
test the
myself.
boundary, because so they will say something, see how you react
Yeah.
to it, to see.
That's right.
Okay.
I can
I
get
can
away
get away
with
with
it.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's another thing. They'll be contradictory in their religious beliefs. Like, I thought my ex was a Christian, but then things came up. I'm like, that doesn't sound right. That doesn't line up with the word of God. So clock it early on. Don't, take too long. One of the reasons as well why people sometimes struggle to believe that really are they really abusive, is because their outward image that they've portrayed to the rest of the people around you is of good deeds.
That's right.
So they'll get the people say, no, but they bought me this, or they helped me with this, or they helped me with that. But it's the ones behind closed doors that know the truth.
We said remember one of our sessions we had, we talked about the person behind the closed doors and how they get along with everybody else. And when you're telling or sharing with them that you've gone through abuse, and you're thinking, you can't have.
Or even the things that you're saying, because if somebody else hasn't been through what you've been through, they can't get what you're saying. So it sounds like you're just being petty and you're just being picky. And that can't be real, because that sounds like something you're making up. When it's what's happening.
Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah, it's hard to believe. For others to believe. Which again is very stressful on yourself. Yeah. Because then you start to even think, is it me? Is it me? Or am I really the problem?
And you become quite isolated, because you think, is anybody on my side?
Yeah.
And they do that isolation as well anyway. So they will start to kind of talk badly about your friends or your friends in church because of your family, because they want to pull you away. They want you to only have them as your source of comfort, even though they're inflicting the pain. And before I forget, one of the things that they try, which is, it's across the board, is breadcrumbing. And so they'll be affectionate for a bit, and then it'll drop off. They'll pull away, and they'll be cruel, and then they'll say sorry, and they'll put a little bit more of crumbs. But over time, you're just getting one and, sorry, can I do Jamaican? One and two.
Yeah, one and two.
Little one and two. Something. And you're like, and literally, because you're in such a state of, you're trying
so damaged,
and you're trying you're hanging on to that little crumb, and that's why it's hard to leave, because you think, like,
it can be nice,
it can be nice at times, but that is a part of the abuse, because psychologically that's how they mess with your head, because your cognitive dissonance comes in, because you're thinking, well, sometimes they're like that, and then so you're getting confused. That's what it's all about, is to confuse you, so that you don't know whether to come, you don't know whether to go.
That's right. Another reason why you tend to stay, because you're thinking, well, there's a possibility he's going to change, because he's shown that side to me, so therefore, who knows? You're
always willing to give it that. And I think because we are empathetic as women, we're just like, hang on in there. Another thing as well is they talk a lot to other people, so they recruit what we call flying monkeys. Some people have probably heard of it. So flying monkeys is anybody that the narcissist will talk to, that will take their side. So they may know you, or they may not know you.
It's who will believe them.
It's who will believe what they've kind of fabricated. And sometimes I had to cut a friendship off because they believed what they said. But God was saying to me, do not renew this friendship.
Yeah.
And he showed me that no, I see their pattern as well.
Mhm.
So you just sometimes you're going to lose people,
Yeah.
and you're going to have to be okay with it.
Yeah.
This is where the
right.
people pleasing has to go.
Mhm.
So the people that love you and know you, they're the
They'll be
ones that
there.
will be there for you
Mhm.
and you stay with. But the ones that are like, well, I just, no, you just need to
Yeah.
just
them off.
walk away.
Yeah.
Your block game has to be strong. It has to be strong. And don't let them back in, because then they'll start to, the manipulation cycles will start again.
And not even that, them same people could be befriending you to take information back to them.
Mhm.
Do you get
Yeah,
me?
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
You have to be
definitely have
you're
to
not,
be
you,
so.
Yeah.
I tell you, I'm not the same.
Because
I'm not
and
the same
also the thing is,
person.
because these things are spiritual as well.
Yes,
So
yes.
it's like it's quite deep. And as you say,
Very.
if you're not in tune with yourself and who you are as a woman, it can just deplete you. As you said, no discernment, so you can't pick up on what is and what is not.
That's right.
And and then that's where you get into state of deep depression. It can go off your head, it can make you go crazy, because it's that thing. It's egg games, in it.
Yeah,
Mind games,
100%.
and
100%.
yeah.
And I will advise, there's a phrase going around which is saying decenter men. And I don't think, I don't agree with it fully, because we need each other.
That's right.
Men need women, women need men, but it's having the right person in your life.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's decentering. I think, especially for women, because this is me, people in the world might see it differently. Men are pursuers.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you value yourself, let them pursue you.
Yeah.
But have it on you've got to set your boundaries.
Definitely.
If you don't set your boundaries, that is when you're going to stumble right back in another one. And that's where you must pick up on the things, that they're doing or not doing.
Yeah.
I would never admonish a woman, if a guy is interested, a man, to chase after that person. They have to put, if they want to be, they have to put that effort in. They have to put their effort in. And that's where it comes back to the healing. If you're not healed and you're looking to do another relationship,
you're gonna go.
It's gonna go the same way. It's gonna go the same way.
Yeah.
So save yourself the heartache and get the work done first.
Yeah.
Value yourself, build your boundaries. One of the things that I picked up in my Bible, when Jesus, because the Pharisees were narcissists. They were very self-inflated ego. They were grandiose, because there's grandiose and there's covert. Grandiose, you can see them coming a mile off. My ex was a grandiose, but he hid it as a covert. Because to be honest, I didn't like him when I met him. I was like, he's arrogant, and I should have picked up on that's who he is. Do you know, to follow my first instinct? But the Pharisees were narcissists, and when Jesus tried to speak to them, and then because they wanted to kill him, didn't they?
Yeah.
He removed himself. He didn't stay there. He didn't argue with them. He didn't barter with them. He just removed himself. You read in the Bible, he removed himself every time. So you have to remove yourself.
Yeah.
You
have to.
Okay. You've put as your title, "When God Wrecks Your Plans Before They Wreck You." Could you explain a bit in regards to?
Right, you see when you don't know, you don't know. Right, so even through all of the marriage, it's like this. Up, down, up, down, up, down. We had planned to do a 10-year renewal, so the hotel deposits are down, invitations have gone out, all of this. But God is just, I tell you, God is amazing, because He could see. So I went on, as I say, this retreat with my friend, and I had these 2 long messages from my ex, and she said she listened to them. She's a social worker, and she says, Yvonne, this is abuse.
Mm.
She said, this is abuse. And she says to me, I don't think you should go ahead with it, at least postpone it. And I said, okay, we'll postpone it. And then God just peeled back a bit more and a bit more until I was just like, no, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. Because what I would have done was been deeper into it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like you're renewing your vows with somebody that just does not love you,
Yeah.
and they're just not for you. They're abusing you, and I was there
So
just
maybe
thinking,
giving them license to
second
Yeah.
license to do it.
Yeah.
So it was hard, but I was just grateful to God. I was grateful to God, and down the line, I was like, thank you, God, that I didn't go through with it, and that I did shed a bit of a tear when it should have been, because I was thinking, it's looking so
It can be
lovely.
heartbroken.
Yeah.
Especially with something you're looking forward to.
This is it, and the weather
How
was beautiful.
With you deciding to call it a day in regards to your anniversary.
Oh no, I blocked him.
Oh, okay.
I didn't. I'm trying to think when. So when it was around the time we should have done, I went on holiday. It was my first holiday on my own. I was so proud of myself because I'd never been away. It's always been the kids, like it was him and the kids and or me and him. And it was my first holiday. I went to Cornwall on my own, the time that we should have done the renewal. Yeah. And I had a voicemail, and that really upset me. And I think after that, I blocked his. I don't entertain nothing, because for me that's done. And that's another thing with narcissists. If you have to go no contact, and you have to stay no contact, unless it is hard when you've got children. So if you have children and you decide, right, I'm done. Grey rock is one word answers, plain. Don't draw them into their games, a conversation. They want how they feed off any kind of energy, whether it's positive or negative, but they prefer negative, which is why they're very chaotic and very argumentative, because that's their driver. That's how they kind of survive. Yeah. So, if you are, it's a long story, but you have to keep your answers to a minimum. And if you are split up, just keep it as civil as possible, but don't be drawn into any word games, mind games. But if you haven't, and it's just you and the person, block. They will hoover you. Hoover is when they try and draw you back in. Letters, phone calls, messages through other people, texts, emails. You have to cut it all off, because the minute you say, you know what, I'll just give them a chance, they're back in. They're back in, and they think that they've got another chance. And don't believe when they say, I'm really sorry. I'm sorry that it happened. Can you just give me another chance? Because all you are doing is give them another license to take you through another cycle of abuse. That's right.
And just even recognize when they're saying they're sorry. They never be specific of what they're sorry for.
General.
So that means they haven't even thought about what they've done.
Yeah.
So that's the key as well, because somebody can come back and say, I'm so sorry for everything that I've done or that I've done, but okay, what did you do?
Yeah.
What was it? What is it that you're sorry about?
Yeah.
And they can never be specific.
No.
So that's one of the things to look out for. They can never be specific about what they're apologizing for.
No. Okay. Absolutely 100% right.
What led you to becoming a Christian life coach?
I know for me how much God and the Word of God has helped me. And I think I do feel for people, especially with what's going on in the world today. What pops up on my feed a lot is there's a lot of femicides, and it's really disturbing. And I think I think everybody should try. We are witnesses for Jesus Christ.
Definitely.
And it's trying to help people to trust His word. The word is not dead. It's living, breathing, and active. So when you start speaking that word out over your life, speaking it over yourself, it gives you the power to then combat, because we wrestle not against flesh and blood. this is a spiritual battle. I think
Yeah.
even people in the world realise there's something not right.
right.
No,
No.
definitely.
There's something going on here. And I think it would be remiss of us to ignore it and just say, oh, yeah, just do this and do that. But when you know God for yourself, when you know Jesus Christ for yourself, he is the one that fights the battles for you.
Yeah.
I didn't find out about my ex having affairs. It was God that revealed it to me,
Yeah.
you know, in a specific way, where there's nowhere to go. I've got records, you know what I mean? So he can help you to overcome all the stuff you've gone through. And I want to help people to do that, to help them, like he's helped me. You know, that's what I wanted to do.
Okay.
Lovely. I suppose you could more or less answer my next question. You say you want to enlighten and encourage women, especially those in the church. Why? But you more or less answered it. My next question, and why do you feel that you are trapped in the same cycle, and how do you know that they have stayed because you have forgiven their spouse or husband? Does that make sense? And why do you feel that they are trapped, from what you said, in the same cycle? And how do you know that they have stayed because you have forgiven your spouse?
Is it me forgiving my spouse?
Yeah.
I'll forgive him. I pray in the name of Jesus Christ that he's in heaven. That is my prayer for him, because I know that if that's a kind of life cycle that you're living, it must be a miserable existence. It's got to be a miserable existence, because you're just repeating the same cycle every time. You're moving from one person to the next person to the next person, going through the same cycle. And it's sad, because their abuse makes you sick, but they're also getting sick. Can you imagine all that negativity? It's going to affect your body.
Of course.
It's going to affect your mind. Well, it already has, but it's going to start to break down internally. So a lot of illnesses will come upon them, sadly, because they're carrying all that negativity. But I've forgiven, like, there's certain one things you do get, which is it gets better, is flashbacks. So a little bit like PTSD. You'll remember things and be like, you know, you just you
There's certain
breathe.
things that happen.
Yeah.
You know, for me,
It's triggers.
Locking me in the kitchen. I feel like I feel trapped.
Yeah.
You know, so don't close the door while I'm in there. If you want the door closed, tell me and I'll close the door. So there are different triggers, even though it's been so many years, but they're still there.
And there are still memories. And I was liking it to Jesus, like God. God loves a sinner, but he hates the sin.
That's right.
So I hate the sin, what he did to me, but I don't hate him. I can't, you know, I feel pity, and I would rather they were free, set free, so that they can live a decent life, you know. So
I wonder how much they are aware, and would they go and get support? Do you get me?
I think they live in denial.
They live in actually a lot of delusion, which is sad. But you see, when the enemy has got you in a chokehold, it's literally, it's got to be divine intervention that can set you free from that, because that is their life. They believe that they are gods. These things have come about from of old. They're from Baal days. That's why there is a spirit of lust. And a lot of them, well, all of them, sorry, have that spirit of lust, which is why they can never ever stay faithful to one person.
Somebody questions?
I was just gonna say, somebody had some questions. Thanks, guys, for the comments. You got a few comments. One of the things is, guys, if you notice, when you leave a comment, it just leaves your email. So if you just put your name at the end, so we know who is sending the email, but sorry, the message. But I'm just gonna guess from the email address. It says Verona. So it says amazing testimony. Thank you for sharing and being so open and honest. May God continue to protect and keep you safe. You have used your experience to warm others. God bless you moving forward.
That is the lady that helped me.
Oh, yeah, you
So
got a
much.
few people that's saying you're all inspiring so many women. That's Jean, I think. Prophetess Sean. Hi, Sean.
Oh, hi, Sean.
Hello, ladies. New York is here in the house. And then she said something about he reveals to heal, what we're talking about earlier.
Yes.
And then Lauren says, thanks for sharing your story, Yvonne. If you could give yourself one piece of advice, what would it be?
Is that your younger self?
Yeah, your younger self, one piece of advice. What would it be? Run.
You know what? I think it's hard as your younger self because we don't choose our caregivers. That's who they are. So I would have still had the same caregivers and gone through the same experience. But what I would say is that when you know, that's when you can change, and just have respect for yourself. It's one. I think a lot of women, because they've not been brought up with that. They don't respect themselves. They don't love themselves. They struggle with feelings of self-worth. And you have to, you have to build on that as soon as you know, so that you've got autonomy. My younger self didn't have I wasn't allowed to have autonomy, so therefore there wasn't really anything else I could do apart from just walk it through. But knowing that God, I've always felt the presence of God from when I was very little. As well as kind of being in my household and having been abused, I was sexually abused, and I was abused by an older man as well. So
those things can take away
it can take away your self-worth.
So it's like even seeing your younger self in those situations. What advice could you give to her? What could you say to her as the older person?
This is a part of the inner child wound course that I did, the inner child wound healing. One of the things you can write letters to yourself. I wrote a letter to my mum even though she'd been gone years.
Because I was going to ask you, were you able to go back to your caregiver and say, you recognise now what you were doing and blah, blah.
I wrote a letter. When I went on holiday, the first time by myself, I wrote her a letter. Bob, cry. It's got to come out. But when you visualise your younger self, and I gave the younger me the most biggest hug, and I said, "It's okay. You can go now." That was a hard one.
Wow.
You can go now.
And
It wasn't your fault.
No,
it wasn't your fault.
No.
And plus, our parents, they never had that love.
That's right. They just did what
that's what you do in
what
parents.
That's right.
Almost like a generational curse.
You
have to break it. You have to break it.
So it's just repeat cycles that continues to go on. And it's about recognizing, oh wait, my mom went through this. And my grandmother.
But it has to
it's
stop
the same
somewhere.
thing I'm going through. So where does it stop?
I think with myself, with my mum, she didn't know her mum. Her mum died after giving birth to her. Her nan grew up. But with all us, she used to show us love. And so I don't know if that's because she never had that love. So therefore she poured that love on us. You know what I mean? Okay, lovely. What is one thing you could encourage someone with? Anything? What would be one thing you could encourage somebody with?
I'll probably split it into two things. Jesus, get to know Jesus. Jesus is the source of love. In the Bible, is it 2 Corinthians 13? So the 2nd or 3rd Corinthians, the love chapter
Yeah.
in the Bible. Go through that chapter.
Mm.
When you go through that chapter, if what you're experiencing doesn't line up with that chapter, it's not love.
Mm.
It's not love. Love doesn't shout. It's not. It is patient. It is kind. It is not
Yeah.
self-seeking. It's not rude. It's not arrogant. And when you're experiencing those things, you need to know what it is from the Word of God. So it's like, okay, no, this isn't right. And I think there was 2 things. I forgot the second thing there. Perimenopause, man. Anyway. Just a little laugh. I was going from my bedroom downstairs, the one probably yesterday morning. I was like, "Where's my water bottle?
Yeah.
Can't find my water
In your
bottle."
hand.
It was on the hook of my finger.
Oh,
I was
Jesus.
like,
Yeah.
"Lord, help me."
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so to know what love is. What was the bit of the question? What was the thing I couldn't punch somebody with?
One thing to encourage somebody.
And he said 2
So,
things.
yeah. So
in
I'll do
one.
the first one. Is to love yourself
Mm.
and don't settle.
Yeah.
And people think, don't settle means, it's a romantic relationship. Don't settle in any area
Of your life.
of your life,
Yeah.
with your friends,
Yeah.
in what you're doing. If you have a vision, if you have a dream, go for it.
Yeah.
In my big old age, as they call it, right? I'm not going to say what it is. In my big old age, I'm stepping out. God's opening the doors, and I'm stepping out in it.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to look back. I want God to say, "Well done, thou good and faithful servant." He's given me a gift. He's given me, like, singing is my other ministry.
Purpose. You've got
I've got purpose, and
Yeah.
I have to use it. I don't want to, just let it it's nothing, because I know He won't be pleased, and I want to be able to say, "Well, I did my best with what I had."
Yeah.
So not settling, and just encouraging people to do that. Do your research for yourself, because it will help you greatly. I know in my church that there's people going through it,
Yeah.
and because, another thing I will say, marriage must not become an idol,
No.
because it becomes an idol.
Mm-hmm.
If God didn't design His women, He didn't design any woman to be abused.
No, definitely
Not to be abused. And you must, if you recognise it, at least separate. I'm not saying divorce isn't for everybody,
No.
but God will make a separation of some kind, because this person does not value you, and they keep on tearing you down. And if you stay in it, you'll be sick. So it's like, just pray for the courage to come out of it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Yvonne,
you.
for sharing, opening up, being vulnerable, and encouraging.
Thank you.
So thank you so much.
Yeah.
And especially with it being our first live,
Yeah. Live and direct.
Live and
from the
direct,
studio.
Bless you.
It's been really good. It
Mm.
has been really good.
Yes.
Glad it's helped. I'm glad. I hope it helps somebody.
Definitely.
Yeah,
That's what
what
it's about.
Sean's saying. She's saying your transparency shall heal someone who will view this interview.
Amen.
Yeah.
Praise God.
Definitely.
Praise God.
Yeah. Which it will.
Thank you.
Because as you say, there's lots of women out there who are going through and they don't know.
We
Because they don't
recognise.
recognize it. They know something is wrong. Because they don't
Mm.
feel good.
Yeah.
But they don't know what to do. They don't
That's
know
it.
how to explain it.
Or even keep thinking, it's me.
Yeah, am I
I
the
know when I
problem?
was going through it, I'd make sure before you come home from work, tidy up and do different things to make sure, and check the house, make sure the food's done all right.
That's
The
really
house is
something
clean.
Never
wrong.
tick
That's
list,
it.
yeah.
It's like definitely.
Yeah.
Because you think to yourself, you don't want anything to
Because you think it's
triggering.
Yeah. Because they blame you.
That's right.
They blame you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make sure the kids are okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
One of the things I forgot to mention is a thing called Darvo, which they will do something wrong. They will deny it, and then they will attack you with it. they'll reverse and flip the blame onto you.
Mm.
Then they become the victim and you're the offender.
Yeah, no.
You know, they flip it round.
Mm.
So it's, you know, just be so careful. Don't take any.
Yeah,
of
they
it,
become,
you
they
know.
play the victim. So they've done you something
Yeah,
because you've reacted to it and they don't like that reaction.
they
They flip it
back.
on you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cassetta. Hi, Cassetta. She say, hi, ladies. It's great to see the faces. There's healing in what you say.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And,
Yes. Thank you,
Mm,
Cassetta. That's
definitely.
awesome.
it can help
Okay.
somebody.
Yeah.
Oh, that's another one.
Huh?
Is there another
yes.
one?
Yeah, she said, listening to your body is very interesting. That's Lauren. You
Yeah.
know deep down before you come to the
Yeah,
realization.
I think it's my client
Definitely.
actually, Lauren. Hi, Lauren.
Yeah.
It's don't ignore the feelings.
Feelings,
You know,
that's
don't
right.
ignore your spirit. Don't ignore those things. It's not true for everybody, but one of the danger signals could be if you meet somebody is butterflies.
Oh, yeah.
Mm.
It is a danger signal for most people
Mm.
because it's not safe. You're not safe.
Yeah.
It tends, you know, you're better off just being the boring person, you know, because
Mm.
And most of us want that butterfly feeling in
No,
I
it.
it's just
know.
because
That's
it's like just
It's
like
like,
Hollywood, Disney,
ah.
but it's
But it
that's
lets you gone with
danger.
the wind.
Yeah.
That's the
That's the
danger.
danger
So,
of it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
definitely listen to your body. Thanks, Lauren.
It's true. You have to listen to your body because your body knows. So if somebody says something to you and you're not comfortable, it doesn't sit
That
well with
reacts,
you.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's
Yeah.
always good, no matter how embarrassing it is. It's always good to share with a friend, to
Yeah.
say it to somebody, because there's always somebody who's gonna say, that don't
That
sound
does
right.
sound right. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and no, you're not
Make you
making it up or
question it.
thinking
Yeah.
anything
Yeah.
is wrong.
Yeah.
But I know that sometimes it can seem embarrassing, the things that they probably say or do. But just remember that, you know, other people are going through the same thing.
Yeah.
It's not just you.
Yeah.
And if you have friends that you can trust, because I know what it can be like with some women, you know, you share something with a friend, and instead of them advising you or being concerned, they take it to somebody else.
That's right.
But you never know what I can't believe that's what she's putting up with, and blah blah blah. Not realizing that you know, this person's going through something, so help them. And it can happen to any one of us. Because sometimes I heard a woman said one time, she said, me too trying for them something there. Hello? You're the first one who's gonna get abused because they go for strong women.
Yeah.
And they know how to break it down.
Yeah.
And that's why they come
And
so
that's it,
simple with
because it's a
stuff
challenge.
and
Yeah.
things.
Challenge to
Yeah.
So it's a
Absolutely.
challenge.
Yeah.
So when you think that you're strong and they can't do it to you, you could, because what it is, sometimes you don't understand that people tap into your emotions. This is not about your strength and your physical fight.
Yeah.
It's things that you've gone through as a child
That's right.
that gets tapped into.
Mm.
And if you haven't dealt with it, and these are things that you don't know you even have, sometimes we don't even know that we have these issues. And so you're thinking, you've gone through situations or other relationships where men have tried whatever and they haven't gotten away with it. And you're always the one to say boom, boom, boom. But there's always that one person that comes and tap into that emotion. And that's the person who
especially when you know that
if they
you're
know,
looking for love,
and they can tap into that. And it's that one time where you think, you know, you're immune to it. That's when it happens. So it can happen to anyone at any time.
Definitely.
And so no, we're not immune to it at all.
I will say, if you've got a friend that highlights things which, you know, she's been through it, please don't ignore that friend. I wish somebody would have said something to me, like, so I could have, you know, picked up and okay, you know, that's not right. Do you know what I mean? But just please listen to that friend. You know, as long as you know
it's
they're
like
good friends.
and if you're listening and it don't sound right, say it not sound right.
Yeah.
Not trying to get in your relationship, but that does sound good to me.
I suppose it depends on where the person's at, whether or not they're going to listen. Or I'm thinking, oh no, I love him. I want to be, you know what I mean? So
But
it
yeah.
depends on
Yeah, because
your
sometimes they're probably not
approach
ready
and so forth.
to
That's
hear
it.
it.
Yeah.
or accept it.
But still say it, because I
Yeah.
think the person will appreciate it after
Yeah.
they've come to that
Mm.
realization. They'll say, you know what? You kept saying that to me
Yeah.
and I wasn't ready,
Yeah.
but thank you.
Yeah.
So,
So,
and
yeah.
at least they would know that they can come to
To
you.
you.
Yeah. I would
Yeah.
say one thing, if people, attention is not intention.
Mhm.
So somebody can give you attention,
Mm.
but their intention is very
Alright.
different.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
be very careful.
Definitely. Definitely.
All
Do we have
right.
another? Yeah. Marcia Bennett. Hi, Marcia.
Hi, Marcia.
Yeah. Say thanks, ladies. Yvonne, thank you for being so open. This shows me that you are willing to let go. You are healing in a positive way, my sister. Thank you for sharing.
Bless you.
Aw,
Thank
thanks
you.
for the
Thanks,
comments,
Marcia.
guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, we're coming to the end of our show. It's been a fantastic show, really enlightening. Thank you again,
You're
Yvonne, for
welcome.
sharing.
Yeah.
And
You're welcome, ladies. It's been a pleasure.
it's been good. Few shout outs, couple of birthdays I've got for the month of July. My grandson, Jaden, my stepson, Sion. Jaden's birthday is 25th of July. Sion's birthday is the 29th of July. My good friend who I grew up with in Stoke, Linnaeus, happy birthday. Maxine, Brenda Lee, Maxine Burrell, and again, Sion I've got. And tomorrow would have been my dad's birthday, so rest in peace, Dad.
Can I do your shout out?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah. So it's my nephew Saxon's birthday today. Happy birthday.
Mhm.
It's my godson's on the 4th, Jake, and then it's my niece's Roxanne's on the 19th. I can't remember anybody else's. So yeah.
Happy
shout
birthday
out.
to everyone. Yeah, that's celebrating a birthday this
Okay.
month.
Happy New Year.
And just to say that we've got a concert on the 12th of July, Hope and Peace concert at the Church of God of Prophecy at Gloucester Street. That's in Wolverhampton. That's a ticket event. So if anyone's interested, you can get in touch with myself. We've got a district convention in Stoke-on-Trent. Yeah, my hometown. That's from the 10th to the 12th of July. And their theme is the God who sustains.
Amen.
And where are we? The Church of God invites you to their national convention from the Friday the 10th to the 12th. And that is, I can't see, the Church of God, sorry. Theme, not by might nor by power, but by the Spirit, saith the Lord of hosts. And that's at the Long Lane Church, Hales Owen. That's my part of my daughter and son-in-law's church. And just to say, Yvonne is available on a Tuesday and Thursday, doing gospel aerobics on a Tuesday, and on a Thursday we do
both at 7 o'clock.
Pilates at 7 o'clock.
And that's at the
Go on, Kelly.
Yeah, it's the Vanessa Charlotte Studios, which is in Wolverhampton. And it's where the Waterstones is in Wolverhampton town. It's on the same side. So that's aerobics at 7 o'clock on a Thursday. A Tuesday, and then Pilates at 7 o'clock on a Thursday. But there's going to be a couple of more classes added as well. And I also personal train. So yeah, if you want to,
Can't wait.
Yeah. And where can they find you online?
Yes. So I'm Kingdom Health and Fitness on my Instagram. I don't post as often as I used to, but Kingdom Health and Fitness on my Instagram, all one word. And then TikTok is the Wisdom Chair Coach, which is kind of helping people to do like narcissism, seeing the signs, encouragement, little prayers and stuff. So you can do that. You can see that on the Wisdom Chair Coach on my TikTok account is a link tree to my coaching. So it's a link tree to my coaching page, but there's also like prayers and like little downloads you can do for free as well.
Okay. Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
Again, thank you guys. Really appreciate you jumping on this evening. And also like, share, and please, please, please subscribe. And we'll see you again next month.
The first Wednesday of the month, guys. Don't forget.
Okay.
And yeah, leave us a review in the comments because I think you can still put comments into the chat. So just leave your reviews. You can continue sending out, and we can answer where possible when we see it. So thanks again. I think Prophetess Sean says it was not your fault. And she says cycles must be broken.
Definitely.
The gift from the Lord to be the cycle breaker in the bloodline. Amen.
Agree.
All right.
Jesus' name.
Yeah. So thanks everyone, and see you next time.
See you next
Bye.
month. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Oh, bless you.
How do you save, upload?
And we're no longer
Oh, God.